intermodal in Richards Cabower, right? Or
Well,
Brandon?
you've had more transportation. Public Works has had quite a bit of transportation discussion, and we've talked about alternatives that we want them to look at in terms of reduction to lane width. And so I'll let Public Works kind of speak.
Right, and we've talked with KDOT, and they've expressed an interest of if the city would take over a portion of the road, again, maybe starting at Moonlight and going through either Center Street or possibly Waverly, how they'd maintain the bridges, just options that are out there. The other thing with the downtown study, we're specifically looking at a 3-lane road. And you talk about Mass Street and Lawrence, you know how congested that is. Trucks aren't gonna go there. So if we narrow it down, we make it more pedestrian friendly, they're gonna look for an alternate route. So, I mean, they may drive it once or twice and it's not worth it. And if you were in town today, we were down to a 2-lane road section for construction, you saw how congested it was.
So we've rebadged that as Business 56 then, so that we can still have KDOT manage some of the bridges.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
We'd work with KDOT on that.
And then, you know, obviously that would give us a lot of flexibility downtown to be able to do exactly what you just mentioned, which is put in maybe some medians and some, you know, diagonal parking and things like that.
But if what we're doing stops at what we're doing on the road, without studying it further, which we don't have the internal capacity to do, then, you know, if it was $50,000 for the downtown study, $75,000 for the 56 downtown studies, that's $125,000. Now, KDOT would have picked up 60 grand of that, which means the total cost to the city would be around $65,000 in total. But, you know, you don't want to go back to the well after they've already, if they offer us the money and then we do the plan and then it sits on a shelf because we didn't do the follow-up, then we're going to have a hard time going back to the Secretary of Transportation and asking for more assistance. And we have areas where we need assistance from the state, especially the Department of Transportation.
Speaking of that, we did a downtown corridor plan many years ago that never ever got initiated or implemented or anything. Is there any way that we can, I know things have changed and it's fairly old, but is there any way we could partner that with some new study and not have such a big study? I mean, it was a viable plan that just never got implemented.
Well, and actually, but you're still talking about the corridor and you're still talking about just the road. Our portion of the study that we do in conjunction with KDOT's only $15,000.
But we had a downtown plan.
Well, and actually, it was a 56 corridor plan that was supposed to run from.
I don't think it was a 56 corridor plan.
We had a downtown plan.
It was a downtown plan that never got implemented.
In 2006.
Maybe we should look at that before we...
That was prior to.
It was, yeah. There was a plan.
Uh-huh.
They did it about the same time as they started incenting businesses, I believe. They put that downtown tax incentive, all that stuff was a result of it.
Yep.
Now, that happened actually in like 98 or 99 is when that 10-year incentive.
I don't know, I've got a binder.
Yeah,
We were given at the planning commission of this downtown plan, and it just never got implemented.
Here's the problem, even if you draw this picture and it's a gorgeous downtown area, you know, you still are going to expect incentives. I mean, there's nobody, or you're gonna have to tell people, you can't, you know, do business here anymore unless you change the frontage to look like this. In which, I mean, so what the real cost is what?
Well, but the other piece of that is, if you have more economic development, if you have more commercial development in town, then the taxpayers right now, we've gone from an 85-15 split with the taxpayers paying the most, to I believe we're about 80-20 now, is that not correct, Laura?
80.
But, you know, if we want to be able to reduce the burden on the taxpayers and get that down to 75% or 70% or more, there's certainly municipalities inside Johnson County that have a much better mix than we do. But that's, you know,
I think
we have to plan for those things.
When it comes when I looked at this one specifically and the discipline that came in is, we've invested in so many different planning categories at this point to lay a foundation for us to be proactive moving forward. Or we've got a comprehensive plan that's just been updated that needs to be. We've got, the downtown sidewalks that we've been able to get the partnerships with. So we've invested in all these different pieces to have plans in place to be able to act upon. This is another piece of that puzzle that is, Gardner 2025, or whatever you want it to be. This is a piece that leads us in that same direction. We match that up with the comprehensive plan, understanding exactly the task at hand, and if this is the vision we want to pursue, then we can plan on how to do so. I think at some point, we're absolutely going to have to do a downtown study. I don't think we're ever going to be able to develop it on our own. I don't think we're ever going to have the staffing. We're not going to have the expertise in-house. Communities simply don't do that on a regular basis. So, again, it comes to me where we've fallen into the trap of let's not spend it today, even though we'll have to spend it tomorrow. When this is actually a stated initiative that we want to take, we want to help grow the community. We want to grow the vibrant lifestyle that people have come associated with in Gardner, and a vibrant downtown district lends itself into that. So that's why I felt, and still feel, it's nearly a necessary expense as you develop it with this whole comprehensive solution that we want to develop and where we want to take the direction and stop being reactive and start being proactive.
Well, and it was, when we were going through our budget initiatives, the star next to the initiative says that that's what, and each of the ones that got the star, those got 4 of our little tabs up there. So downtown district plan, which we voted down now, marketing and rebranding, which we voted down now. I fear for the aquatic center rehabilitation, but we'll get there in a little bit. But this is something that during the priority-based budgeting process we identified, and now we're turning our back on it because they have I don't know where exactly this went wrong, because this was May, I think, April or May, and we had 4 out of 5 council members that picked all these things. Well, 4 out of 6 members of the governing body, I apologize.
So when we pick these, and I still feel this way, yes, I agree these are a priority. What I don't agree with is the fact that we have to fund consultants to do every single one of these things. That's where so from my perspective, if we as a governing body say our 5 objectives for 2015 are, we want to figure out what we're going to do with the downtown, we want to market and rebrand, then, and staff has to reallocate resources to do that, then those are the priorities to get done. That's the part that I disagree with, having to spend money, a lot of money, when you add all this stuff together, for somebody to come in and tell us that. That's my problem. It's not that I don't think these are priorities, it's how we're implementing them.
The flip side of that, though, is if you do not have the internal expertise to be able to do that, and you have to add a workforce to be able to maintain it, then it's no longer a one-time expense as part of the planning. So if you don't have people in place, which marketing initiatives and rebranding, companies don't take that on their own. I mean, Fortune 500s don't do that on their own with all the resources they have available. That's actually something they engage an outside firm to help them participate in. So if we want to do that, then the city needs to hire a graphic designer with a marketing background. Those individuals cost $75,000 a year, maybe more. So now we have that person on next year after we voted down this $25,000 project. If it's somebody that we want to, huh? Okay, the marketing and rebranding was $50,000 project. Okay, so we're from my perspective, we're still $25,000 in the hole just in year 1, but then we keep that person on staff and help with other pieces. But maybe I'm wrong, but Cheryl, tell me, do you have someone right now on staff that could tackle either one of these initiatives?
The marketing and branding, please?
Marketing and branding, or put together a comprehensive downtown revitalization?
No, I cannot bring you a comprehensive downtown plan because we don't have, and Mike and I talked about this today, we don't have the ability to bring you the graphics that you need as part of...
Not even the graphics, but
even
the analytics and other pieces that they take into consideration.
Because part of it is this, when you're doing a downtown plan, you want to inventory the parcels you have. You want to look at, there's some components we can do, and actually, this $50,000 assumes that we will do some, because if staff was doing no work, it would cost substantially more. Even with the $80,000 we paid the consultant for the comp plan, we still did a lot of the work internally. you have to. But we